Okay.
Guys, once again, we're at first of all, we're a mess because we've been in cemeteries today.
Yeah. Should I show me your arms?
We have got,
His arms.
Look at my feet.
Yeah, you see my coat, guys.
We have got bars and stickers and burrs all over us. Fellas, we have been doing some research. A good friend of ours, very knowledgeable historian, and give us a tip on something. Now, I'm going to tell you, out of the Kentucky Hatfields, there's no better people than the Kentucky Hatfields.
Okay.
Except for Alan Hatfield. Now, Alan Hatfield lived at Buskirk, down there on River Road. That's the one that killed Hubert Bay McCoy. Now, there's another Hatfield, and here's Randall McCoy and Sarah's cemetery. Here's Deals. We're at the Deals Cemetery. Now, if you walk right up here, and I don't know if this was intentional or if it's a mistake, Basil and Martha Hatfield. Let's walk out through here.
Okay.
Now, if you'll remember, here's one we want to show here in a minute. Right over there.
Okay.
Can you see that? Waller. That'll be a separate video, but we're going to come back.
Really?
Yep. Yep. Come on this way.
Okay.
And if you'll remember, Basil Hatfield, I'm changing subject again. Frank Waller, number 37.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the colored cemetery part of it. Basil Hatfield was the Pike County Sheriff at one time.
Yeah.
In fact, he's the one that fired Frank Phillips for arresting a couple of the West Virginia Hatfields, or the West Virginia Hatfield gang.
Right.
Now up here, see this another sign here?
Yeah.
So now they're promoting Basil Hatfield. They're promoting Pike County tourism is, and I don't know if it's a mistake, if they don't know no better.
Okay.
Which sounds about like them, or if it's intentional, just to draw a crowd, which sounds like them. But I'm going to show you something here, and then we'll finish up with paperwork at the house or at the museum.
Here we go.
Guys, look here.
Okay, what are we looking at?
Basil Hatfield, 1871, 1940. I want you to look over there at his wife, Martha Hatfield. Now,
Okay.
Basil Hatfield was not married to Martha. Basil Hatfield's wife was Nancy Jane Lowe.
Ooh.
Basil Hatfield died in 1926.
Whoa.
If you'll look there, it's 1940.
Yep.
Now, so this is a different Basil Hatfield. This is not the correct Basil Hatfield that was sheriff of Pike County, or judge for that matter. He went on to become a judge also. Now, Sheila and I has been out in the cemeteries.
Yeah. My coat's covered.
Find a Grave says that Basil Hatfield is buried at Davis Memorial Cemetery at Stone. There's hundreds of graves there, but he's not one of them. In fact, that's probably the only graveyard we've been to in a long time that didn't have one Hatfield or one McCoy on it.
We couldn't find either.
Neither
guys.
one.
And we walked over that thing 3 times.
Yep. So doesn't mean we didn't overlook it. I don't believe we did, but like I said, Sheila and I can be wrong. Sheila and I can make mistakes. So
Oh, sure.
we don't claim to be perfect, but if we are, we do not mind
Lord, I'm far from it.
being corrected. Now, we know that this is the wrong Basil Hatfield. This is Basil and Martha Died in 1940. Preacher Ance's brother, the son of George Hatfield, that Basil Hatfield, died in 1926.
Okay.
This is not him. So why the Pike County Tourism has signs there, and here
Promoting it.
promoting Basil Hatfield, it could only be two reasons. One, they didn't do the research and they don't know, which sounds like them. They just make it up as they go. That's why the history, I'm already getting that, but it's the truth is the truth.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, if you don't want the truth out, do your research and do it right. So there's either two things that happened. Either they made a mistake, they didn't do the research, and they don't know that they got the wrong Basil Hatfield.
Okay.
Or they know it's the wrong Basil Hatfield, but they're thinking, shucks, since Basil Hatfield's buried up there, most people will never know. In fact, they got me. They got me. Now, I'm going to tell you why they got me and how. Because Basil Hatfield has never been, not this Basil, the Basil Preacher Ance's brother, would have been my great-great-uncle. He's never been, you need to put them on?
No, I'm just putting
I know
in my
your
pocket.
code.
No, I'm good. Just put my
Basil has never been one of my heroes of the Hatfield family. I'm Kentucky Hatfield.
Okay.
Battle Ice would fight. Battle Ice was a likable fellow, they said, when he wasn't drinking. Nicest fellow ever was. Especially Floyd Hatfield, Constable Floyd, Preacher Ants. That's the Kentucky Hatfields on Blackberry. I never cared, and that's why we didn't do the research really on Basil, because he's not one of our favorite people to research. He fired Frank Phillips. He done two things that I've always disapproved of. He fired Frank Phillips because Frank Phillips arrested some of the Hatfield gang. After he fired Frank Phillips, of course, the governor, Simon Buckner, hired him to be a state law enforcement officer.
Right.
Statewide authority. The first officer ever in Kentucky to have statewide authority from the governor. So, we've covered this before, but Frank Phillips, essentially, even though the Kentucky State Police wasn't established till 1948, Frank Phillips was actually the first state trooper, the state policeman that we ever had here in Kentucky, if you want to look at it. The first officer to ever have statewide jurisdiction. So, Basil fired Frank Phillips. That's one X
strike
against him, strike. And then he signed, if you'll go look at Patsy Cline's pension papers. It's been confusing to some people, to some of these people that thinks they're historians or wants to go, you know, you can look at this feud in both directions. You can look at it in a Hatfield manner, you can look at it in a McCoy manner, you can look at it objectively from both.
Yeah.
I'm Hatfield and McCoy. They killed Asa Harmon McCoy. Asa Harmon McCoy was sent home in December the 24th, 1864. They killed him December the 7th, January. I seen you look, thank you, baby. January 1865. They killed him a few days later. Now, he'd been discharged from the military. He was no longer in the service. It was not war related. His death was just a common murder. They killed him. It's a homicide. How'd they cover for that? The sheriff, Basil Hatfield, not this Basil, the one that's died in 1926. Basil Hatfield, along with some other people, went and met with Martha. And they got Martha to put her ex. Now, there's two things that could have happened there. Either Martha didn't know how to read, and they wrote down one thing and read something else to her, and she put her ex, and they witnessed it and signed it. Or, I forget the second one. So either way, or she knew it and she just wanted the $8 a month. She got $8 a month pension. Asa's dead. He can't help her.
Right.
So they've said, hey, Martha, if you'll sign this saying that Asa was on his way back when the guerrillas killed him, he was on his way back to the unit, then you can get your pension because he would have got killed in the line of duty. And she signed it. or she put her X on it, or that's what they say. But it's witnessed by Basil Hatfield, the sheriff of Pike County. Now, with him being the sheriff of Pike County and her saying that changed his job from investigating a homicide, a murder of Asa Harmon McCoy, to saying, hey, it was war related. It was war related. It's not a homicide. He was killed during the war. That's just my take on it. It's Fred and Sheila. We're going to do one more video right down here on the colored part of the cemetery.
Okay.
And but that's going to finish the video here on Basil Hatfield. If we find the real Basil, the Sheriff Basil, Judge Basil's grave before we post this video, we'll put it on here.
Okay.
If not, we'll post pictures of the stone and all that. But know that this 1940 is not the Basil Hatfield that was Preacher Ance's brother, at least.
Okay.
Alrighty.
All right.
You can close it out later.
Hi guys, hope you're having a great evening. Please like, subscribe, and share, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.